What's up, Trojans? I got three quick things I want to tell you guys about heading into the Giants' sixth game against the Minnesota Vikings. First things first, Kayvon Thibodeau was awarded NFC Defensive Player of the Week for his epic performance against Washington Sunday Night Football. Namely, I think that strip sack fumble recovery for a touchdown got it for him, but he also had the 12 tackles, and with that, it felt like he was involved on every single play. Kayvon Thibodeau is a huge reason why the Giants won that game and got the well-deserved honor of NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones have also gotten the award this season. Well-deserved in those cases as well. But it's just great to see the Giants getting some recognition. And they also got recognition in the face of Saquon Barkley being named a Pro Bowl starter. Well-deserved. Saquon Barkley has been electric for the Giants this season. Definitely coming back the way he did, putting up the numbers like he did in 2018. 2018 was his rookie season. He also won Offensive Rookie of the Year, was a Pro Bowler. This season, he's not Offensive Rookie of the Year. There's no way he wins that, but he is a Pro Bowl starter. Well-deserved. I think Saquon's actually improved since 2018 in a lot of ways, and it's good to see him getting recognized as a Pro Bowler again because it is well-deserved. Saquon has been everything the Giants needed him to be this season. Saquon Barkley is a legit running back. He is great. I hope the Giants are able to maintain him long-term. Moving on to the Pro Bowl alternate, we have Dexter Lawrence, who has been another great player for the Giants this season, just locking down the middle of that defensive line. He really stepped up when Larry Williams was out earlier in the season, especially against a team like the Packers. I noticed he had that tendency of sacking quarterbacks out of field goal range. That is a very useful thing to have in a defensive lineman. So props to Dexter Lawrence for being the alternate. And, being the alternate, there actually is a decent chance he does get to play in the Pro Bowl. Otherwise, the Giants have a second-team alternate of Graham Gano. Graham Gano has been a great kicker for the Giants as well. Then Andrew Thomas is a third-team alternate. Andrew Thomas has been a solid left tackle, really good left tackle, just one of those lockdown guys for the Giants. Offensive linemen slip up every now and then. That happens. Andrew Thomas has been great, really helping out that left side of the line. Giants have put him on an island in most situations, and he's been able to eliminate some of the best pass rushers in the league. It has been a huge help to have him on the offensive line. Andrew Thomas, honestly, I think he should have been a Pro Bowl starter. But then again, I'm not well-versed on all of the left tackles in the league. So I may be off on that, but I think Andrew Thomas is up there. I think Andrew Thomas has been really great for the Giants. The other third-team alternate was John Feliciano. I have not seen that same prowess as that I have for Andrew Thomas out of Feliciano, but hey, third-team alternate. Glad he got it. Down in third team, I highly doubt anyone of any one of these guys, actually gets to play in the Pro Bowl, but at least they're in the conversation. Same thing with Kayvon Thibodeau making the fourth team alternate, right? It shows that he's in the conversation. I think this is good for Kayvon Thibodeau. Gives him something to look forward to. Maybe he can make the Pro Bowl next season. The injury probably set him back a bit. He's not having the same sack numbers as he might have, or as I would even expect from him at this point in the season, but he's made up for it in so many other ways. Kayvon Thibodeau, hopefully he's the Pro Bowl next season, but for this season, fourth-team alternate, and maybe he has an outside shot of Defensive Rookie of the Year if he can play really well in these next three games. And him playing well in these next three games would help set up the Giants to make the playoffs. The Giants are in a great spot to make the playoffs. There's three teams aside from the New York Giants in contention, like in serious contention for it. The Detroit Lions, Washington Commanders, and Seattle Seahawks. If two of those three teams lose this week and the Giants win this week, the Giants are in the playoffs. It is a tough order for the Giants to beat the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are a great team, definitely going to the playoffs. They've locked up their division, but the Minnesota Vikings are a solid team this season, looking good. So it'll be tough for the Giants to beat them. But should the Giants beat them or the Colts or the Eagles, the Giants just have to win one of the next three And Washington has to go up against the 49ers this week. So I think the 49ers will be able to beat Washington. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be able to beat the Seahawks. So that, just winning one of the next three, I think puts the Giants in the playoffs. Whether it's the 6th seed or the 7th seed would be up for grabs. But I think the Giants can also beat one of the Vikings or the Eagles in Week 18. Just especially due to circumstance with the Eagles. They might have that 1st seed locked up at that point and be able to kind of throw that game, which would give the Giants, I think the Giants can beat the Colts. So the Giants winning against the Eagles would potentially give them their 10th win. Or if the Giants win this week against Minnesota, the Colts could give the Giants their 10th win. The Giants are in a good spot. Just making the playoffs won't be the end of the Giants playing. Even if the Giants beat Minnesota this week and Washington and the Seahawks lose to the Niners and Chiefs respectively, like I think they will, the Giants still have a lot to play for in terms of seeding. There would still be an outside chance that the Giants could overtake Dallas for the 5th seed, and they would want to maintain the 6th seed standing, which I believe they are at right now. I may be wrong, but I think the Giants deserve the 6th seed this season. I think they've played like a solid 6th seed team throughout the year, and that would give them an outside chance of making a real splash in the playoffs the way I think they can, and I'm hopeful that they will. I don't necessarily think the Giants are going to, necessarily go to an NFC Championship game, but I think there is a strong possibility due to strong coaching and the discipline that this team shows, the New York Giants. I think they can pick off a wild card team and find themselves with a shot to take down a division rival later in the playoffs. I would love to see that happen. The Giants take down a division rival in the playoffs, not get beat by them in the playoffs. That would suck. But the Giants are in a solid spot in the playoffs. The Lions, I think, will also make the playoffs. Hopefully the Giants can win 2 of the next 3, and that would negate the Lions winning out and going 10-7, as I don't believe their schedule is that hard. I think the Lions can go 10-7. So if Washington and the Seahawks, Washington Commanders and Seattle Seahawks lose to the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs this week, the way I think they will, the Giants just have to win 1 of the next 3, and the Giants are in the playoffs. I think the Giants can win 2 of the next 3 and be guaranteed the 6th seed, because I think the Giants do deserve that 6th seed. I think the Lions will end up 10-7, as they've played really well and will be another team to watch out for in the playoffs. But no matter how good the Giants do in the playoffs, coming in at the 6th seed, the Giants wouldn't have to play the Lions for a while. And since the Lions beat the Giants earlier this season, that's probably a good thing. So let me know your guys' thoughts on this. I think the Giants are going to the playoffs. Just got to win 1 of the next 3, and a couple predicted losses have to happen. Otherwise, the Giants could just win 2 of the next 3. I think there's a solid chance they do. Giants could just win 2 of the next 3, and then we don't even have to rely on predicted losses, and it locks up the 6th seed. But I think those predicted losses are going to happen, and I think the Giants will be able to beat the Colts, which gets the Giants in the playoffs. And that is really great considering where I started with them this season, and I'm so happy that the Giants are in this discussion this late, seriously in the discussion this late in the season. Right, there was the stint back in 2020, the COVID year, first year under Joe Judge, where the Giants had a real shot at making the playoffs, but it would have been at 6-10, and we were relying on the Eagles to beat Washington in the last game, and they decided to throw it. I think the Eagles could do something similar Week 18 against the Giants, giving us what will likely be our 10th win in the season, locking up the 6th seed for us. I could see that happening as well. That would show consistency out of the Eagles organization at least. But this is much different than 2020, where the Giants could have entered the playoffs at 6-10 by winning the division. That It was kind of embarrassing that Washington went in with a losing record. 6-10 would have been a new level of entering the playoffs with a losing record. So, in hindsight, probably a good thing the Giants were in the playoffs, but I think the Giants deserve a playoff spot this season. I think they're going to get it, and I'm hopeful the Giants can walk in with 10 wins, actually, which would really highlight that the Giants deserve to be there, because the Giants have played really well this season and have an outside shot at doing damage in the playoffs. Anyway, I'm really hopeful. I'm looking up on the Giants now. Not insanely up. I'm not like, oh, they're definitely going to a Super Bowl, but I think the Giants are a team that have solid principles, they're well-disciplined, and that is a recipe for success in the NFL, whether it be this season or the seasons after. I'm liking everything Joe Shane's been doing. Brian Dable's a great head coach. Brandon Brown seems like a good assistant GM. I've listened to a couple of his interviews. I think the Giants organization is set up really well moving forward, and I think that starts by getting into the playoffs this season. See you guys in the next one.